Okay, y'all, third time's a charm. I've done this 4 separate times to bring you the news that you need. All right, welcome to my channel. I am going to be going over some questions that you may have about the JET program. So I am a JET participant, or I don't know the word for it. Applicant, participant, employee, I don't know. I am a JET, we'll go with employee. For 2025, I will be leaving for Japan in 26 days. So I'll be leaving July 26th from Denver, Colorado, and will arrive in Japan on the 27th. So this is my first video. Hopefully it goes well and you guys enjoy it. And hopefully I can help some of those that have some questions about the JET program. So it'll be a quick video. Later on, I will be going over some things to hopefully help you apply and help you maybe get accepted to 2026. So one of the things that I wanted to mention will be about if you want to bring families. So I will just answer that question right now. You can bring your family to Japan and apply, even if you're married and have kids. So, but I'll kind of go over more of that later on in this video, because I know there's going to be kind of a smaller amount of people that will be applying that have spouses or families. I'll kind of go over the other questions first. So a little bit about my position. So I am an ALT. There's also a CIR. I am not a CIR, so I don't know much information about that. The only stuff that I know about CIRs is that they are doing a little bit more for the government, like with translation things. So you do need to speak Japanese for that. For ALTs though, this is assistant language teacher. So you're going to be an assistant to an English teacher in Japan. That you do not need to know Japanese for. So that is one of the questions that I'm sure a lot of people have. You do not need to know Japanese, but I do have to say it is going to be important that you want to learn Japanese, or at least Japanese culture. Being a part of the JET program, you are going to see that it is very focused on being a cultural exchange. So you are bringing your culture to Japan, whether that be Australia, Europe, America, whatever. And for those of you who say America doesn't have culture, it does. And you will see that. Once you get to Japan and you live there for a year, you're going to see that America definitely has culture. So yeah, I think it is kind of basic knowledge or kind of understanding that you should want to learn about Japanese culture when you are in Japan. You're going to be living there for an entire year. You should have some interest. They do offer some Japanese classes or free Japanese classes. It starts at, you can start at beginner level, and there's beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And so each class or each section takes about 6 months. That is what they have said. So it takes 6 months to do. And I do not think that you can rush it, so you can't do it in 5 months or 4 months. It does take 6 months to do. So if you are a beginner or you don't know any Japanese, you can hopefully be at the level of intermediate by the time you leave. There is a possibility too that you could extend for longer. So you can extend up to 5 years max. I haven't even really started my first year, so I don't know too much about that information, but if you do have questions about that, I can find someone that's been a jet previously that I can, get the information for you. Next is, how long does the process take? So specifically the application process. The application process takes seems like forever, honestly. Nearly a year till you actually, if you get accepted, until you get to Japan, it's almost a year. So applications start in late September, and they started, I'm pretty sure they opened the 29th or 30th of September, so it's late September. And then I think you have a month to submit your papers. Don't go by my dates though, so I'm kind of giving you what it was for this year. And they're going to be different every year. So don't go by my word on that and accidentally miss your submission date. So you have about a month. You will submit everything in October. You'll submit what is called an SOP, or statement of purpose. That is an essay, and it's going to be 1 page. And can't be more than that. It is 1 page. And then you'll be submitting your what's it called? Your graduation. So your degree. You do have to have a bachelor's degree to apply. You do not have to have the bachelor's when you apply though. So you just have to have a bachelor's by the time you get to Japan. So if you are going to be graduating this year in 2025 or 2026, May 2026, you are still able to apply. They will later on ask you to send in your graduation or your degree once you have graduated, or when that time comes. So you do not need to have that. But yes, so you will have that month, and then you'll be submitting the SOP, the degree. You have an option to apply as an early candidate. And as an early candidate, you need to get your FBI background check earlier, and your health certificate, or your health checked out, and have the doctor sign those, and then you turn it in earlier. I don't think you have to turn it in when you initially send in your applications, but you do need to send it in before interviews. So after you apply and you send in all of that information, if you make it that's the first round. So if you make it past that round, you will go on to interviews, and the interviews is the second round. I will do another video on the interviews and some of the questions that they asked me, what it was like for me, and some of the things that I had answered with. I will also be doing a video on the SOP, statement of purpose, and kind of showing you what I wrote, and hopefully helping you guys with that later on. So then after, if you get accepted and you pass the interviews, it still feels like a long process. So you don't get your placement as soon as you get accepted. You actually learn of your placement quite a bit later. So my placement is in Iwate. Iwate is the prefecture, and I will be in Oshu City. I did not hear about my placement until about 2 weeks ago, and I am leaving this month. So it does take a minute. Some schools or some places are a little bit quicker than others. I am in a high school, a senior high school, and those do take a little bit longer to know the placement. Next, I will be going into families. So, can you bring a family member or your spouse, your significant other? Yes, you can. And it does not change or affect your application status. So just because you have a significant other that you are planning to take, it does not, they don't keep like a cap on who's accepted and if they have a family member or not. That was one question that like I know a couple of my friends have had, and so no. And if you do have a family member that is going, or significant other, and I say significant other, it can't be like a sister or a brother. It has to be legally wedded spouse. So you can't bring a boyfriend or girlfriend either. They do help with visas. So your spouse can work in Japan, but it may be difficult to find a job. So if they don't speak any Japanese, the jobs will be limited, and you also won't know where you're going until pretty close to when you leave. So if you are in a very, very small country town, or like basically a village, it might be just in general difficult to find a job in that place. That's not to say that they can't go though. So every family is different, every relationship is different. So if you decide to go alone, you can. But anyway, I'm just giving information. So, as much as I can for those people that are thinking about applying or have thought about it. And further with bringing a family member, the JET program pays for the flight for the JET applicant. But if you wanted to buy flights at a reasonable price, or like a good price or competitive price, they do offer that, and you can have them fly on the same flight with you. When you first get to Tokyo though, you will be busy and you will have a lot of orientations. So you would have to find a hotel for them, and they would not be able to come to the orientations with you. So that is something to consider. So they have recommended and have told all the JETs at some of the orientations that if you do have a significant other, to maybe postpone their incoming or when they come to Japan till like a month later or something. So yeah, that is about all the information I have for this video. There's going to be a lot more to come. So hopefully that helps for some of you. I'll be going over in my next video, I think, I'll start with the SOP. Something to consider around this time is I started to prepare. You can always prepare. Even though the applications have not been opened yet, you can start preparing to do things to help your chances of getting accepted. One of them, this is not required, but I had done it, is getting a TESOL or a TEFL certificate. And this is Teaching English as a Second Language certificate. I went through ITTT, and they were really easy classes, really fun. I felt like I learned a lot about my own language. So if you are interested, I will leave it in the comments, I'll leave a link down below for you. I think I don't know, I have not checked the price this year. When I applied for the classes, they had actually a discount going on at the time, and it was literally around this time last year that I had done it. So they might have like a yearly discount around this time, but just check. The classes were about $250 to $280. So, but if you don't have that, and if you choose not to go that route, that is okay. But like I said, you don't need the TEFL or TESOL certificate to apply. Another thing that I suggest as well, that you could do is to start substitute teaching. This will not only help your community and the schools around, but it will just give you experience and kind of show exactly some of the things that you'll be doing as an ALT. So yeah, if you can apply to be a substitute teacher, and that will give you just a lot of experience with kids, as well as just what a job is like as a teacher. Not a have to, but it is helpful, and hopefully it will help increase your odds of getting accepted to JET 2025. All right, that is all I have for today. But if there is any question that you guys have, leave them in the comments, and I will try and answer them as soon as possible. And I had said previously, this is my first year. I am not in Japan yet. So there are some things that I'm still learning about as of right now, but I just wanted to make some of these videos with the beginning stages of the application and JET, while it was still fresh on my mind, as well as just, sharing more information about it, because I felt like when I was applying, I wanted to know that information. It didn't keep me from applying, but I wanted to know that information. It was just helpful to plan my next year or my future a little bit more, and also just to know what I was kind of getting into. So I hope this helps, and I will see you guys another time.